For the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the quantum realm is a very small affair. In fact, as small as you can get. It took quite some time for the new Ant-Man in Scott Lang to bring Janet Van Dyne back from the quantum realm, but she came back with a lot of secrets that look to make a big impact on a world decimated by Thanos. Let's look at what you need to know about the teeny tiny verse and how it could affect things going forward. The itty-bitty end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is expected to play a big role in Endgame and the conclusion of the Infinity Saga, but to understand that, you have to understand the quantum realm. The quantum what? The quantum realm in the MCU is more than just super-duper small. It's a world unto itself. When a talented surgeon went to Kamar Taj to try and get his broken hands fixed, he found out that our universe is one of only many universes that made up what we call the multiverse. That surgeon, one Doctor Strange, learned to tap into these multiverses and manipulate their energies to change our universe through spells and magic. He also turned New York into an MC Escher dreamscape, which was pretty cool, if we do say so ourselves. Anyway, when Janet Van Dyne came out of the quantum realm, she was able to bring quantum particles with her that had the ability to stabilize the previously unstable Ava Starr, whose exposure to quantum particles in an accident created molecular instability, allowing her to phase through solid objects. This being Marvel, superpowers come at a cost, and for Ava Starr, it's that molecular instability really is unstable, and she's gonna lose her grip on being solid. She ends up needing the quantum particles to stabilize her molecules and pick a side, solid or not solid. Quantum particles suggest that there's more to being small for the quantum realm. To understand how that all works, we have to look at the Marvel Comics version of the quantum realm, the Microverse. In the comics, the Microverse is actually a collection of tiny worlds that include whole realms. It wasn't Ant-Man and his shrinking powers that first found the itty-bitty worlds, but Captain America and Bucky. It turns out that a ruling family had sent their daughter to the big world, ours, to avoid a conflict which followed her into 1942, where the star-spangled hero and his trusty sidekick became involved. Eventually, this led to shrinking, fighting, and of course, justice, because, hey, Captain America. That's what he does. He makes things right and gives good speeches. Cap and Bucky aren't the only ones to have shrinky-dink adventures in the world behind the atoms. The nefarious Dr. Doom, president and founder of the Fantastic Four Haters Club, once shrank down to the Microverse after being hit by, what else, a shrink ray, and did what Doom does trying to take over. Shrinking the Fantastic Four, Marvel's first family, got an assist from Ant-Man to conquer the conquering Doom and free the Microverse world of Mirwood. Even the Silver Surfer is ducked into the Microverse to hide from his old boss Galactus, before the Fantastic Four convinced him to come back out and face the Planet Eater before he did his planet-eating routine on Earth. Even Thanos has got into messing with the Microverse game, fighting the Microverse-conquering Baron Karza. While it might sound like all of this is happening in an itty-bitty universe that exists in the atoms of your drywall, it turns out that it's just a regular set of universes like ours, with a gate that happens to exist in between the atoms. The gateway to those universes is a barrier called the Space Wall. This wall is protected by the Time Travelers. They're a group of ethereal beings unstuck in time who protect the Microverse by tapping into the Enigma Force. The Enigma Force brings us back to the big screen and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, where the Microverse is known as the Quantum Realm, and there are very few Barons. Hank Pym and his daughter Hope ran into some interference trying to bring Janet back from the Quantum Realm when Ava Starr and Bill Foster tried to hijack the Quantum Tunnel to stabilize Ava's shifting molecules. Unfortunately, this would have closed the window to bring Janet out that opened when Scott Lang became quantum entangled with Janet as he passed through the quantum realm in the first Ant-Man movie. What does quantum entanglement mean? Lots and lots of math. But it also means that what affects one end of the entanglement also affects the other end, and that you follow the connection from one end to find the other. Simple, right? And this also meant that they could use the connection between Janet and Scott to find Janet in the hard-to-navigate quantum realm. Doing so is no small feat. Not only are they trying to find a tiny hero in an atom stack, there are lots of pitfalls waiting for people poking around in the quantum realm. There's Neil deGrasse Tyson's favorite micro-creature, the tardigrades, that apparently look cute but can be very dangerous. Also, if we're subatomic, shouldn't the tardigrades be much, much, much bigger? They're made of atoms too, but hey, it doesn't really matter. It was cool. There's a bit of history with the Wasp getting stuck in the small end of the multiverse. The Marvel Comics Janet also ended up in the Microverse during Secret Wars, when it looked like she died and had to be pulled out by Hank Pym too. Back in the MCU, the quantum realm isn't a total unknown outside the shrinking hero scene. So why is the Microverse called the quantum realm in the MCU? Like a lot of things Marvel related, it all comes down to rights. The Microverse belongs to a team of superheroes called the Micronauts. Like Rom, the Space Knight, the Micronauts were a toy tie-in that Marvel incorporated into their own continuity. For Rom, that meant fighting a bunch of dire wraiths, an evolutionary offshoot of the Skrulls. The Micronauts were a superhero team from the Microverse who, when they got to our universe, are the size of action figures. Which, yeah, it's not ideal. Both Rom and Micronauts outlasted their toy counterparts and are both currently being published by IDW Comics. Still no toys, though. Paramount owns the film rights to the Micronauts, which means they also have the film rights to the Microverse. So Marvel turned to their science advisor, Dr. Spiridon Michaelicus, who changed the name to Quantum Realm. Turns out you can put quantum in front of stuff and make it sound real cool. The biggest hint that the Quantum Realm is actually just another way through the multiverse lies in a deleted scene when the newly found Janet takes Pym on a tour of her small world, but with less singing. She tells him that there are worlds upon worlds and entire civilizations. They even encounter a giant menacing-looking worm creature that threatens to consume them both before Janet lets it know that they're just passing through and make no claim. The giant worm creature tells them to go in peace. It's all super duper weird. Being in the quantum realm does affect the mind, which could result in talking worms, but then Hank sees it too. Outside the water bears and giant worms, there were also time vortexes. There was no mention of the time travelers who were protecting a space wall, but she did mention that you could get lost in one, and once there, it can be hard to find you. This is what everyone currently believes is the key to time travel shenanigans that have been hinted at in the set photos and trailer tidbits. The white suits that everyone's wearing during that Right Stuff walk in the trailers are thought to be the quantum suits that allow the Avengers to hop through time to find a fix to Thanos' snap. As you know, the foremost experts in getting small in the Marvel Cinematic Universe turned to dust when Thanos snapped out half of existence. While he plays things off for laughs, Scott Lang is quite the tinkerer. But he'll also have Science Bros Bruce Banner and Tony Stark to help him utilize the time vortexes to enact whatever plan Captain America is pumping everyone up for in one of the latest spots for the movie. We agree, Rocket, he really is good at that. There's another possibility lurking in the small world that might have been what sent Scott looking for the Science Bros to begin with, driving Lewis's quantum tunnel-equipped van. Previously in the MCU, if you wanted to travel through the various multiverses, you needed to be a master of the mystic arts, or wait for some kind of alignment to happen, or have a friend with all sight, and a big magical portal opening sword. The magic of the mystic arts is dust. Heimdall had an unfortunate encounter with Thanos, and the alignment happened a while ago. But if the quantum realm also contains a nexus into other corners of the multiverse, it's possible that this is another way to get from universe to universe. In the comics, the various Infinity Stones contain their own universe. In fact, the Soul Stone has been the home away from home for both Adam Warlock and Gamora. It also contained a Lovecraftian horror beast named Avondra, who eats the trapped souls to spin a reality-creating web. Well, that'll keep you up at night. One of the most popular theories for the MCU is that the Dusted are trapped in the Soul Stone. Whether you believe that the young Gamora asking Thanos what it cost to achieve his goal was Gamora herself trapped in the stone, or the stone manifesting as the one thing he loved to ask him if his ambition was worth it, there's something alive inside the Soul Stone, no doubt. Now at this point, everything is wild speculation, which, if we're being honest, is part of the fun of an expansive universe like the MCU. It's possible that, while Scott is lost in the quantum realm, he has run across the same thing that Janet did while she was there, which is to say worlds upon worlds, entire civilizations, and maybe a giant threatening-looking worm, He might have also come into contact with the realm contained within the Soul Stone. It could be how Doctor Strange obtains the information we need to finish out the Endgame. It could also be the answer to the mystery of what the Ancient One did on her first day of filming. All we really know is that she only had one day on set, but not what it was. It could be that the Master of the Mystic Arts could find a way to slip Ant-Man and the map he needs to not get lost in those time vortexes, and instead have teams emerge where they need to be in order to thwart the snap and undo the dusting. This isn't the only way Scott could have found the way around the nexus of the worlds in the quantum realm. We know from Janet that time and space start to have little or no meaning anymore. And we don't know for sure how long she was in there in our relative time, much less in his relativistic time. Relativity is also some complicated math, mostly having to do with the passage of time being relative. Without getting into the math of all that, the time spent here could be different than the time spent there. Carry the one. Yeah, no, the math checks out. Scott could have been carefully mapping his way around in the hopes of finding a way out, which may just so happen to be how the Avengers work their way around time vortexes as well. And that's the history of the quantum realm and the microverse in the MCU and comics. What role do you think the quantum realm will play in Endgame and beyond? Let us know in the comments, and while you're there, subscribe to CBR and hit that notifications bell so our videos go right to your inbox. Thanks for watching.